So today we're going to talk about Uniswap, and basically I'll go over what Uniswap is as a whole. I'll talk about a little bit about impermanent loss, the maths behind Uniswap, and a little bit info about the smart contracts. So decentralized exchanges solve many of the problems of their centralized counterparts, including the risk of hacking, mismanagement, and arbitrary fees. However, decentralized exchanges have their own problems, mainly the lack of liquidity, meaning lack of amount of money moving around an exchange, and that makes trading not so fast and efficient as it should be. And that's where Uniswap comes in. It's trying to solve the centralized exchange's liquidity problem by allowing the exchange to swap tokens without relying on buyers and sellers. Uniswap is a protocol on Ethereum for swapping ERC20 tokens, and unlike most exchanges, which are designed to take fees, Uniswap is a tool for the community to trade tokens without platform fees or middlemen. Also, unlike most exchanges which match buyers and sellers to determine prices and execute trades, Uniswap uses a simple math equation and pools of tokens and Ethereum to do the same job. Any token can be added to Uniswap by funding it with an equivalent value of ETH and ERC20, and the ERC20 token being traded. For example, if you wanted to make an exchange for an altcoin called Token A, you would launch a new Uniswap smart contract for Token A and create a liquidity pool with, for example, $10 worth of Token A and $10 worth of Ethereum. And also, fun fact, the Uniswap is invented by Hayden Adams, who was motivated by a Twitter post made from the co-founder of Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken. So about the maths. So Uniswap's main distinction from other decentralized exchanges is it using a price mechanism called constant product market maker model. And they're the first to implement that, and it satisfies the equation that you see on the slide, where R alpha and R beta are the reserves of each asset, and gamma is the transaction fee. Trading any amount of either asset must change the reserves in such a way that when the fee is zero, the product R alpha times R beta remains equal to the constant K. This is often simplified in the form x times y equals k, where x and y are the reserves of each of the assets. In practice, because Uniswap charges a 0.3 trading fee that is added to reserves, each trade actually increases k, so it's not fully a constant. A constant product function forms a hyperbola when plotting two assets, which has a desirable property always having liquidity as prices approach infinity on both sides of the spectrum, as you can see from the picture on the slide. And yeah, that's about it for the maths part. Now we're going to talk a bit about impermanent loss. Generally, it's a temporary loss of funds occurring when providing liquidity, and it simply put the difference between holding tokens in an AMM or an automated market maker and holding them in your wallet. So impermanent loss is usually observed in standard liquidity pools where the liquidity provider has to provide both assets in a correct ratio, and one of the assets is volatile in relation to the other. For example, DAI and Ethereum 50-50 liquidity pools. But why impermanent? Because as long as the relative prices of tokens in the AMM return to their original state when you enter the AMM, the loss disappears and you and you earn 100% of the trading fees. But that is rarely the case, because more often than not, impermanent loss becomes permanent, eating into your trade income or even leaving you with negative returns. But to understand how permanent loss occurs, we first need to understand how AMM pricing works and the role arbitrators play. So in the raw form, AMMs are disconnected from external markets, meaning that if token prices change on the external markets, an AMM doesn't automatically adjust them. Rather, it requires an arbitrator to come along and buy the underpriced or sell the overpriced asset until prices offered by the AMM match the external markets. And during this process, the profit extracted by arbitrators is effectively removed from the pockets of liquidity providers, resulting in permanent loss. So back to the example of DAI Ethereum 50/50. As shown in the slide, a change in the price of Ethereum opens an opportunity for arbitrators to profit at the expense of liquidity providers. Just to check, I'm still in the call, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So initially, as you can see in the slide, the DAI Ethereum AMM is balanced with equal values on both of the sides. So $1,000 worth of DAI and $1,000 worth of Ethereum make up for $2,000 combined. And as you can see, there isn't really a difference now whether you're providing liquidity or hodling. It's the same. Yeah. But then the price of Ethereum increases by 10% on the external markets, and that leaves an opportunity for the arbitrators to dive in and now buy Ethereum from the AMM when its starting price is 10% cheaper than that on the external markets. Then they're motivated to balance the AMM by selling DAI for Ethereum until both sides of the AMM are equal. And as you can see in the resulting third picture, providing liquidity actually results in a impermanent loss of $2.38. While Westwood holding just this, $2,100. And the impermanent loss becomes permanent if the liquidity provider decides to return his
You mean to withdraw their funds?
Yeah, withdraw their funding. And yeah, that's about it for the impermanent loss. A way to evade impermanent losses if you're providing an AMM which is not based on tokens which are not volatile to each other. And an example which I saw for Uniswap was Ethereum AMMs. Or another solution to the problem is using other exchanges, but that's not the topic of this talk. So how do you actually use it? How to actually use Uniswap? There's a actually friendly user interface at Uniswap.exchange where you just provide two one token that you want to sell and one token that you want to buy, and using your wallet, for example, MetaMask, you can um, do the exchange, bearing in mind that there are probably some swap fees from Ethereum's side. And yeah, the smart contracts. So Uniswap uh, is a binary smart contract system. Contract. There are two types of contracts. The one is core, the other is periphery. The core contracts provide fundamental safety guarantees for all parties interacting with Uniswap, whilst periphery contracts interact with one or more core contracts, but are not themselves part of the core. The first type of contracts, the core, consists of a singleton factory and many pairs, which the factory is responsible for creating and indexing. The factory holds a generic bytecode responsible for powering pairs. Its primary job is to create one and one only smart contract per unique token pair. It also contains logic to turn on the protocol charge. Pairs have two primary purposes: serving as automated market makers and keeping track of pool token balances. They also expose data which can be used to build decentralized price oracles. And the periphery is a constellation of smart contracts designed to support domain-specific interactions with the core. Because of Uniswap's permissionless nature, the contracts described below uh, no, nah, that's that part. That's not the part which I would talk about. No. Yeah, that's about it for the presentation. I actually had more info on smart contracts, but I realized late, like half an hour ago, that the smart contracts I was looking at were for Uniswap V1 and not V2. So, yeah. Am I still in the call this time?
Yes.
Oh.
Um, so, do you know what is the difference between V1 and V2, or no?
Yeah, V1 was for starters. V1 is implemented in Viper, and V2 is implemented in Solidity, which I've in, I understood that is more widely used. In V1, there are two main contracts, which are factory again and exchange. And there is a factory in the factory. There is in V1 and V2 both. There is a create pair function, but I haven't researched how it's done for V2. In V1, after executing this function, it creates an exchange contract. It creates an event also, which is pair created. And yeah, that I know of. The V1.
Lyudmil, please tell us about using of liquidity token. In your picture, this is a pair EC20 token. How you can use it and how use this token in community?
I didn't understand.
if you put a liquidity to the pair contract, you get pair ERC20 token. And as usual, you can put this token in some other contracts for get reward, additional reward. No, for example, in the synthetics, you can put liquidity to the pool with synthetics asset and give a pair ERC20 token and put this token to the another smart contract of synthetics and give additional reward for liquidity.
And
Yeah, it's very interesting. Understand that a pair ERC20 token is usable too, and you can use it in other protocols, in other systems. You can get reward from it and use maybe some other goals.
in Uniswap V2, I think you can use you can make a pair of ERC to ERC20 tokens. So if I didn't understand the general question.
This is when you create pair and put liquidity to the pair, you get liquidity token.
Yeah.
And you can use this liquidity token in other systems and in DeFi too.
I'm not sure.
No, it's real. It's if you see on the liquidity token, it's often used in as collateral and to the some or get additional reward and other ways.
I will show you something about what Sergey is talking. Let's see. Let me share my screen. So by the way, what I'm showing you now is very dangerous information for your finances. Right. So this is something called yield farming. So let's see. And there is some interest that you get, but I don't want this. Okay, that's better. So this is, I can get 15,000% yearly interest for this one. So what happens here now, there is, you see this Uniswap pool, Ethereum versus this MXC. I don't know what it is, but what I can do is I can go and find this MXC token from somewhere, and then I can put it into the add versus MXC pool. And when I do that, I get a token, which corresponds to my share of this pool. So let's say I put 10% of the liquidity right now, and then my tokens will be 10% of all tokens minted by this pool. And then I go here to this sashimi thing. Let's see how yeah, okay, no. Yeah, I want 15,000 interest. Yeah. So I go to this sashimi exchange. No, it's actually a copy of Uniswap. And okay, I need to connect apparently. Right. Okay. So now here I can take my tokens that I have minted by staking this MXC in Uniswap. I take my tokens and I can put them here. And then this Sashimi swap is minting Sashimi tokens. And for the time that my token from the pool is staked here, I'm making Sashimi tokens. And I think at this moment, according to CoinGecko, if we compute the interest rate from this investment, currently it is 15,000% per year. So this is one usage of those ERC20 tokens. It's essentially a pyramid scheme, because you need to get the underlying token from somewhere, and you probably get it from some people that came before you and minted it in some way, and then you hope to sell your tokens before the price drops too much to the next person that comes and sees this incredible interest rate. But that's the cool thing happening right now.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a lot of questions, but let's start with the simple ones. From this basic Uniswap pools, the main risks are that the prices could drop down. Is that right? For example, if there is a DAI Ethereum pool, so if the price of Ethereum goes down,
then yeah, then down. Yeah, kind of.
yeah, and this impermanent loss, so it could happen if the price of underlying asset is going down. But if I understand this correctly, if the price of underlying token goes up, I gain profits because like vice versa.
Yeah. I'll
No?
let Lyudmil explain.
Well, you gain profits, but you also lose from impermanent loss again because of the arbitrators, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like you always lose.
Yeah, you have something to lose compared to hodling, I think. If you just keep them in your wallet sometimes, then yeah.
Guys, CoinGecko has a nice impermanent loss calculator. If you get back to this page, Tsanko, that you showed us, there is a tab impermanent loss calculator, and you can play with the price of underlying tokens. Let's say one token goes up, one token goes down, and how it affects the... Yes.
There was actually a picture of a graph that I saw in one of the sites where I was researching. I'll send it in the can't now that you can. So
Let's talk about splittage of price. And maybe you can show by formula. Lyudmil, do you hear me?
yeah, I was looking at something.
I'm interested about splittage. Can you show how it happens? Splittage of price. If I buy more than 10% of liquidity pool size is my real price increase on the 10%. It's very interesting for understand what happens with the pool and what ways for increasing about pool size.
I don't know. I can't really answer that.
Let's show formula from your presentation.
The one with, wait, just a sec. Present. Okay. Present. Was it this one?
Yeah.
I don't have any other formulas, but yeah.
Yeah. If we try buy or sell more than some percent of pool size, our price beginning extremely worse than we expected. For example, if we drive buy delta for 10%, after this formula calculation about price, we will buy in 10% more price. Oh, I don't have.
Yeah.
Can you show us about splittage of price? Because need to understand that the splittage is very significant for understand how it's working. Uniswap and Balancer and some other exchanges.
Okay, so yeah, this is called slippage. So it means the price will change if you want to buy too many tokens. So let me show. And this slippage appears when the liquidity is not very big. But I mean, I don't have formulas, just maybe show to people that don't know about it. So here I'm on Uniswap, and I want to exchange one ETH for some tokens. But the liquidity is not very big for the sample in Uniswap too. And you see here, there's this price impact, 89%. So one ETH costs, for one ETH, I will get 266 Sun tokens. But one ETH is around $300, maybe. So basically, I'll pay about $1 per Sun token. But actually, the current market price in other places, it's, I don't know, 15 cents or 16 cents, something like that. And this happens because the amount that I want to exchange is too big and the liquidity pool is very small. And if you remember this graph, this hyperbole graph that Lyudmil showed, we are very far from the center of this graph in this situation. And so the price is very, the changes too very strongly. So this is called slippage.
Okay, let's increase from 1 to 2 Ethereum.
Yeah. If I for 2, I get 281. If I want, I can send 10,000 Ethereum or 100,000 Ethereum, and then I'll get 289. So in this case, let's see at what point I have reasonable. So this liquidity pool is actually very small. So, well, for 0.018, I can get 23 Sun with price impact. I mean, not too good, but also not too bad either. But yeah, I mean, to not affect the price too much, I will need to exchange a very, very small amount. This doesn't appear in the big pools. So the big pools that have lots of liquidity, you can exchange big amounts without any problem. This phenomenon, by the way, it exists in normal exchanges. So if you want to exchange too much, then the price will change a lot. So with 100,000 ETH, I will get slippage of 70% for the day. Then with 1 million ETH, I will get 68% change of the price. Yeah, I don't understand. For example, I think Balancer has different algorithm.
Balancer uses the same formula. But in Balancer, this formula adopt with multiple assets. As interesting, in Curve use another formula in beginning, and if you go to the border of liquidity, Curve use the same formula as Uniswap.
Yeah.
Also, we have new dexes. It's black hole. It's the same as Curve, but difference. This is use compound as liquidity source. If you try go to the out of liquidity limits, this protocol automatically go to the compound and get another token and move another token to you. The next trader is balancing it. It's interesting because you can change more than exist in the pool now.
Okay.
It's only maybe 1 month in production.
Okay. So I will have to leave soon this talk. So if you want to discuss anything, you can continue without me. Just wanted to say thanks. Sorry. Just want to say thanks to Lyudmil for the presentation. I think this is very useful for us to learn different DeFi projects. Maybe it's good to continue with this type of presentations. So I don't know, Sergey, maybe you can also say what other important projects we can cover like this. Personally, I'm thinking maybe Compound and maybe synthetics would be next. I don't know what is the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
We with
Okay.
Maxim can do it together.
I was thinking because you are more experienced, but I was thinking instead
About Maxim Rajov and I. We can together prepare.
Well, no, I was thinking something else. So maybe we can ask the new people that joined Sentiment to prepare talks, because this helps them learn DeFi. And if they have any questions, they can ask you about them. So
Okay.
maybe Vlad and Katerina, so if you would like to research one DeFi project to understand how it works, that would be very nice. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a good idea. Maybe we can create small description with base architecture of each system, because sometimes you need to understand how it's working, and maybe uh, we will store base architecture of Uniswap, of Balancer, of Compound, and some other. It's chart and description for each step of typical uh, found flow.
Yeah, I like that idea. I would support this because for me that sounds really cool. And maybe we can even use it later for like market materials or whatever. So yeah, I would like also to do this.
Okay. So I have to leave now. Maybe we can decide in the chat what the next projects will be and who will be doing them. So if anyone wants to volunteer or you have some specific projects that you want to talk on, then you can do that also. Yeah. And yeah, for now, sorry, I just need to finish right now. But if you want to discuss Uniswap more, then you can continue without me. So yeah, thank you and bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think very interesting is current system is compound, and maybe sushi swap very good because it's grown very fast.
Serge, isn't Sushi just a fork of Uniswap?
Yes. As I need to understand if only fork. It's I don't know why it's so fast increase volume and price of the token.
Yeah, maybe because they had their own token first, then Uniswap. Uniswap released the token last week. SushiSwap released their own token initially. So yeah, it's an interesting topic indeed.
Lyudmil, do you look how use Uniswap token?
No, I haven't.
Anyone can tell us about how Uniswap token will be used in Uniswap ecosystem?
As far as I know, it has two utilities right now. First is liquidity mining. You can put Uni tokens in a liquidity pool and earn more Uni on it. And the second utility is governance, the project governance.
Okay. Gary, what new DeFi project in this month?
Which new interesting DeFi projects appeared this month?
Yeah, because we're working on the existing project, and very interesting to understand what's new.
You know what? Maybe not that much new, but maybe an interesting topic would be to dive into the elastic supply projects. The first one was Ampleford, where the supply of tokens is being rebased, say once a day, and it makes token balances in each wallet change each day. It's something completely new in cryptonomics. When today you have 100 tokens, tonight rebase happened, and tomorrow you have 900 tokens because of rebase. How do you think?
It's interesting.
Other than
Please
that,
send link to this project to our DeFi labeling channel.
I'd kindly invite you, Serge, to use our screener because we have a specific market segment for these projects. Just use market segment and select elastic supply. I think we have at least 5 projects in Sunbase with the same tokenomics, starting with Ampleford.
Okay, good.
Other than that, we have tons of forks of Sushi Swap, Wi-Fi Compound coming last month. Just simply forks.
Many people go around the market and tell, let's build new DeFi system.
Mhm.
Every day, someone push event about it to me.
Completely like 3 years ago with ICO. Let's make an ICO, right?
But count of players is less than 2 years ago.
Yeah, even though it's the teams are most incognito nowadays. They don't need any background like was needed 3 years ago for fundraising. Just make a fork. You may be a single developer to launching a DeFi project.
Yeah. Okay, who won't tell about compound on the next seminar, or maybe about another DeFi system?
Yeah, maybe I should try. I think Compound is a good start.
Okay, Alex, do you want tell us about compound next time?
Yeah. Yes. I'm a little bit afraid that I will be out of time, but I try to do my best. Yeah. If something happens, can I have some help from you, Sergey? Like maybe one call?
Yeah. No
Okay,
problem.
nice. So yeah. Okay, next Friday is for me for Compound.
Cool beans.
Any questions about DEXs? Or maybe DeFi?
Maybe not a question, but so if you want to make some notes about each DeFi protocol, we can create a notion maybe, and we have to start with, I guess, Uniswap and Compound. So yeah.
Yeah, we can start to build it. Also, easy to add a balancer to it because balancer is very similar to the Uniswap. But now it's more usable for some tokens.
And just one more question appeared in my mind. Can you create a pool for C tokens? So we create a pool of C DAI for C ETH. Is it possible with Compound or with Uniswap?
No problem. Any ERC20 token you can put.
So do they do it already?
Need to look at.
Okay. In that case, you gain like CC DAI and CC is.
Yes, very interesting market. All tokens you can put, give another, and put new token to another pool, or as collateral, or sell it. Moment.
Actually, there are such pools. I'm not sure that there are some pools on Uniswap. There are some pools that trades with some compound tokens and with some other tokens from other DeFi protocols like AIO.
I see exist pool Ethereum with CDAI. You can change.
Nice. Yeah, basically that's interesting because in classical financial markets, you can't do this. So you can't create a derivative for derivative, like an option for an option that's created for another option. And here you can do this.
Why? You can create derivatives on derivatives. It's no problem.
Yeah, but it's super limited, so we have to adopt with SEC. And I never heard about like forward for another forward. But I might be wrong. Okay. Anything else for today? Yeah, any questions? Somebody?
Okay, let's finish this talk. Thank you, Lyudmil.
Yeah, thanks, Lyudmil.
For introduction.
Okay, so see you next week in that case.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.